Every review on your store that goes unanswered is doing damage, not loudly, but quietly. A customer leaves a 2-star review about a shipping delay, nobody responds, and the next 50 people who land on that product page see a brand that doesn't care. Now, most people's solution to this is just use ChatGPT. Copy the review, paste it in, get a nice response, paste it back, and sure, that works. But for once and for one review. What happens when you get 40 reviews a week? What happens at 11 p.m. on a Saturday when a review comes in and nobody's checking? And what happens when that review is genuinely bad? That's the actual problem. It's not how I write a good response. It's how do I make sure every single review gets handled correctly without me having to babysit it. So I built a system that does exactly that. Let me show you what it does. Then I'll show you exactly how it's built. Here's the live system. On the left is the workflow. This runs in the background completely on its own. On the right, I'm going to stimulate a new review coming into the store. Watch what happens. The second this review comes in, it's read by Claude, which is an AI modeling doing the thinking here. Claude does two things first. It analyzes the review, sentiment, urgency, what topics the customer actually mentioned. Then it decides which path to take. As soon as the workflow is completed, I've got that review in my Google Sheet. The review came in for the product bamboo cutting board set. It got a 3-star review. Says the bamboo cutting board are really good quality. Only issue was the shipping took 12 days. So we know it's a neutral kind of a sentiment. They are happy with their product but not happy with the shipping. And there we go. Based on what the review was, we got the response generated and a personalized response. So it starts with the first name, Tom. Thank you so much for the kind words, blah, blah, blah. We genuinely appreciate flagging the shipping and tracking experience. So it knows what the problem was and it is giving the response based on that. This is not generic. It references the specific things Tom said, and that's the difference between a templated review and a personalized review. This system logs everything into the spreadsheet, the sentiment, the response, and what actions were taken. Because it was a positive review, it was out of it. And in the live store, it just goes straight to the website. Now watch what happens if we run a bad review. There we go. We got the bad review for a black tumbler right with visible crack along the base. It reached out to customer support for 4 days and nothing was heard back. So it had classified it as a negative review, and the response it has generated obviously used the first name, "Hi Mia, I'm sorry to hear about the cracked, blah blah blah. That's not the experience we deserve. We completely understand your frustration," so on and so forth. So for this one, this is not auto posted to the website. This comes in as an email to approve, which show you what the review was and what's the response it has generated, and all you have to do is approve and it goes straight to the website. This response is empathetic. This review acknowledges exactly what went wrong. It doesn't make excuses. All you have to do is just glance and hit approve. That's the system. 2 reviews, 2 completely different outcomes, 0 manual work, except just a 5-second approval, only for the risky ones. Now let's open it up and look at how it is actually built. The whole thing runs in N8N. It's a workflow automation tool, free to Salesforce, and it's a backbone of every system in the series. Let's walk through it left to right. Everything starts here in the webhook node. It's just a URL that listens for incoming data. In a real store, this gets triggered automatically every time a new review comes in through your review app. It could be Judge Me, Yotpo, whatever you're using, they all support this. For the demo, I triggered the review manually. Next is the normalize. Next is the set node. This node just cleans up the data, pulls out reviewer's name, star rating, product, and review text. Nothing fancy, just making sure everything downstream have clean, consistent fields to work with. This is the code node. Here's where it gets interesting. This node sends the review to Claude with a specific prompt. I'm not asking it to write a response yet. I'm only asking it to analyze the review first. It can be either positive, negative, or a neutral review. It reads the review and gives me back a structured data, the sentiment and the urgency level, what topics are being talked about, and whether it needs human resolution. This is the step most people skip. They go straight from review to response. But if you skip the analysis step, here's where it gets interesting. This node sends the review to Claude Anthropic's AI model with a specific prompt. I'm not asking to write a response yet. All I'm asking it to analyze the review first. It can only return me a positive review, a negative review, or a neutral. It's just deciding the sentiment of the review. All it is doing is reading and giving me back a structured data, the urgency level, and the topics that are being talked about, and whether it needs a human resolution or not. This is a step most people skip. They go straight from review to response. But if you skip the analysis step, you can't make a routing decision. And the routing decision is the entire point of the system. This node just takes the Claude's response, which comes back as a JSON structured data, and extract it into a clean field we can use. Sentiment, urgency, topics all pull out individually. Then we have our if node, and that's the routing logic. One simple condition is if the star rating is below 3, it goes to follow the negative pathway. If not, it goes and follow the positive one. You can make this more sophisticated, route based on sentiment or rating, flag anything Claude marks as a high urgency regardless of star rating. But for demo, the star rating is a clean and reliable signal. So assuming our review which is coming in is positive, so on the positive path, we send the review back to Claude, but this time with a totally different prompt. The prompt says write a warm, specific, public-facing response. Reference something the customer actually said and keep it under 3 sentences. Make it sound like a person and not a brand account. All we are doing here is defining the guidelines of how the response should be. Then it goes back to Claude to generate a response, and this is the part that actually replaces paste into ChatGPT workflow. This is pasting it in our demo. It is directly sending an email to us notifying that it has been posted. But in the real life, you can actually post to your website, and we get the email that yes, the response has been posted, and then it just logs into the Google Sheet. And if we see the negative pathway, again, it is built with a different prompt. This one says, be empathetic, acknowledge the specific issue, don't be defensive, and invite them to contact the support directly. Same AI model, completely different instructions depending on the situation. That's the power of prompt design. You're not just using AI, you are directing it to behave differently based on context. And again, and in this node, in this pathway, the Gmail acts as a safety net because it is coming in as an approval for us to approve. The negative reviews never go out automatic. They land in an inbox for a human to approve. This one decision is what makes this system something a business owner can actually trust. Full automation on the safe stuff, human in the loop on the risky stuff. And again, everything gets logged. Every single review, every response, every decision made. If you ever need to look back, it's all in here. So here's what is actually changing. Before, every review sits there until someone has time to deal with it. Realistically, that means most reviews, especially the average ones, 3 and 4 stars, never get a response at all. They just sit there. After running this, every single review gets handled within seconds. The good ones, system handles completely. The risky ones land in your inbox, pre-written and ready for approval. Actual time cost to you on a normal week, maybe 2 minutes total. And the compounding effect of that, every product page on your store now shows the brand that responds to everything. That's not just a good customer service. That's a trust signal that shows up in conversion rates. Now, reviews are reactive. Something already happened and you are responding to it. But there's a much bigger problem. Most store loses customer before they even leave a review because of what happens right after someone abandoned their cart. That's what I'm building next. If you want to actually use what I showed you today, I put together a free breakdown of this exact system, prompts, the logic, and everything else. Grab it from the description and I'll see you in the next one.